Sneth the Snail tells a story. Outside in the rain, or sometimes the sun, there lives a snail, not two, just the one. He is quiet, but if you hold your breath, you can hear stories from a snail who's called Sneth. Scary stories, or stories about crime, or stories from space or travelling through time. He has lots of stories, all which he will tell, if you don't mind sitting down by his shell. Today's little story, to be told by our friend, is kind of a lesson from the start to the end. He calls it his favourite, but that's not its name. It's called The Lonely Bumblebee Who Wanted a Game. One sunny day, in the hills near this place, buzzed a hairy wee bumblebee looking for a chase. It was the only game he knew, and the reason is sad, is because when he gets too close, everyone runs for their dad, or their mum or their gran, or their aunt or whoever. Poor bumblebee feels like he's been chasing forever, when all he really wants is just to play a game. He gets very bored always playing the same. You might think that sounds mean, he just wants to play, but when you see a buzzy bee, do you run away? Anyway, I digress. Let's get back to our tale, listening to the story told by wee Sneth the Snail. So he buzzed in a window with a buzzety buzz, wind blowing past his face and ruffling his fuzz. When he found a wee boy sitting all by himself, he didn't want to scare him, so he flew up to a shelf. He watched for a moment to see what the boy did. The boy hadn't noticed, but still Bumble hid. Till he plucked up his courage and he puffed out his chest. He smoothed down his fuzz so's that he looked his best. Then he called out, "Boy, little boy over there." The boy turned around and started to stare. After a moment the boy replied, "Who, me?" Amused, Bumble said, "Are there any other boys you see?" The boy looked afraid. "Please, Mr. B, don't sting." "Mr. B is my father, pain isn't my thing. I prefer just to play, and I'd hoped you'd play too." Confused, the boy said, "You want me to play with you?" "Yes, please," said young Bumble. "I get very bored. Everyone runs away from bees, so we end up being ignored." "Okay," said the boy. "What games do you know? How about checkers? Or can you play tic-tac-toe?" "I haven't heard of those before. They're not really played by bees. But if this isn't too much trouble, could you teach me, please?" "Of course," said the boy. "Come down and sit here. Don't hide up there all day. You have nothing to fear." So young Bumble flew down, and the two of them played. They continued all day, and still Bumble stayed. He did such a terrific day, but he had to head home. His mum would get worried, and his tummy had started to groan. Just before he buzzed off, now that the games were all done, he turned to the boy and said, "Thanks for the fun." The boy said it back and wished him a safe flight, and then with that, he buzzed off into the night. So it just goes to show, if you listen to Sneth, remember he is quiet, so you must hold your breath. Then you'll know bees are friendly and they just want to play. So the next time you see one, please don't run away.